Aloha and welcome to Upside-Down Pilates. With me today I have Herman. In today's episode we're going to do an intermediate level workout, a continuing intermediate level workout. So we're going to continue on and challenge our strength, endurance, and add in a little bit of coordination today. But let's start with an anatomy minute. So Herman is going to be our helper, and I'm going to turn him around, and you can look and see where these little red pieces of tape are. This is up in our neck, and these little red pieces of tape represent our interspinalis. So these are part of the intrinsic muscles of our spine, which is the deep stabilizers of our spine. And these little muscles go all the way up and down our spine, connecting the back at the spinous process of one vertebrae to the next vertebrae. So here's some up in our cervical spine or our neck, and then here's one down in our lumbar spine or our lower back. And they're most prominent in our cervical spine and our lumbar spine. And some people actually don't have them in their thoracic spine, but most people do. What they do, their big job is to stabilize. So they fire up and they hold you in place so that you don't whack your spine around while you're like trying to move your arm. The other things that will happen is if you're lying down, it's going to help to extend your spine. So feeling that extension when we go up into our swans, it's going to do the segmental opening of or closing of the vertebrae back here. And if we start to go forward like this, it's going to help control so that our bones don't go sliding out of place on the way down. It's the eccentric control of the interspinalis. And we're going to start with some Soaz breathing. Remember, our Soaz connects from our inner thighs all the way through our body and into our lower back area. All right? And when we inhale and push our belly out to the sky as big as we can, we fire up our Soaz. So go ahead, lie down. Bring your hands on your low belly and do a big inhale. And I want you to push your belly up as big as you can to the sky. And then exhale. Draw your belly down as little as you can. We're going to do that 9 more times. Big inhale, push it big, big, big. And big exhale. Draw it away from your hands. Get as skinny as you can. And again. This is 5. And inhale, push that belly out nice and big. And exhale, draw it in nice and skinny. 6. 7. 8. 2 more with me. 9. 1 more time. 10. Okay, let's go ahead, turn side and come on up. And now we're going to have a little bit of fun with our toesies today. So try and sit nice and tall. You can sit up on a pillow or a chair if you need to. You're going to straighten your legs out in front of you, and I want you to point your toes as much as you can. Today we're going to keep our ankle joints still and just move at our tippy toes. So as you do this movement, I don't want you to go back and forth with your whole foot. We're just going to move our tippy toes and do the best we can. So what we're going to do is splay our toes and pull them back, but keep this nice and long. And then we're going to point our tippy toes and squeeze them together. Let's go again. Splay and open, so separate your toes as much as you can, and then point them and squeeze them together. and splay and open, and point and squeeze, and splay and open, and point and squeeze. That's 4. And splay and open, and point and squeeze. 5. And splay and open, and point and squeeze. 6. And splay and open, and point and squeeze. 7. And splay and open, and point and squeeze. 8. And splay and open, and point and squeeze. 9. One more like this. Splay and open, and point and squeeze. 10. Okay, now we're going to get a little more fancy and start adding some coordination in. We're going to try and do a wave starting with our big toe. You're going to go big toe to pinky toe in that splay, and then you're going to point big toe to pinky toe. This is a little tricky. Do the best you can. Big toe to pinky toe, and big toe to point and squeeze. Big toe to pinky toe, big toe to point and squeeze. 2 more. Big toe to pinky toe, and big toe to point and squeeze. 1 more. Big toe to pinky toe, and big toe to point and squeeze. Now, of course, we have to go pinky toe to big toe. No big deal. Try it out. Pinky toe to big toe, and then pinky toe to big toe. Pinky toe to big toe, and pinky toe to big toe. This is 3. Pinky toe to big toe, pinky toe to big toe. 4. And 1 more. Pinky toe to big toe, and pinky toe to big toe. 5. And if your hands and your mouth got going with you, that's okay. That's kind of what happens in the beginning when we first start doing this. Okay, now that we have our breath and our feet awake, we're going to do a combination of hip rolls and roll-ups. So go ahead and sit nice and tall, and you're going to roll down onto your back, and we're going to bring our arms up overhead in our goalposts, and we're going to do an inhale, and here we go. Exhale, curl the pelvis under and roll up, and now exhale, roll back down. Extend the legs, arms overhead, arms to the sky, nod the chin, and you're going to roll forward and reach to those feet, and then you're going to curl under and roll back down and bend your knees. And here we go. Curl it under and roll up, and roll back down. Extend the legs, arms to the sky, nod the chin, round forward, and hollow the abs, scoop and curl back as you bend the knees and bring the arms up. That's 2. And curl it under and roll the hips up and roll the hips down. Extend the legs, bring the arms up, arms to the sky, nod the chin, hollow the abs up and in, and reach forward. Keep pulling your belly backwards as you do that, and curl under and roll back down, arms up overhead. 2 more times. Curl the pelvis under and roll up, sequence through the spine, roll down, extend the legs and arms, arms to the sky, nod the chin, hollow the abs, slowly reach forward, belly goes backwards, curl that pelvis under, bend the knees, reach those arms back overhead. 1 more time. Curl the pelvis under, roll up, sequence through the spine, and roll down, extend the legs, arms to the sky, nod the chin, and reach it forward, and curl under, and pull those legs up, arms up overhead. Very good. Let's take a little break. All right, let's flip over onto our belly and work the back of our legs a little bit. And our tush, of course. All right, here we go. We're gonna have our legs squeezing all the way together. You can put your hands under your forehead. Shoulders are wide, legs are nice and squeezing, and your belly is lifted. You're trying to pull that belly away from the ground the best you can. And we're going to lift the legs, and then you're going to bend your knees, flex your feet as much as is comfortable. You're going to straighten the legs back out and lower them down. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale as you bend. Inhale as you straighten. And exhale as you lower down. Lift the legs. Bend the knees, flex the feet. Straighten the legs and lower down. Keep your belly up and in. Lift. Bend and flex to where you feel comfortable on your knees. Straighten and point and lower down. 2 more like this. Lift. Bend and flex. Straighten and lower. 1 more. Lift. Bend and flex. Straighten and lower. Now we're going to smooth it out. Woo! And again. Woo! Lift and flex. Reach and lower. 2 more. Lift and bend. Reach and lower. 1 more. Lift and bend. And reach and lower. Okay, you should have started to feel your legs and your buns working a little bit. We're not done. We're going to do it in turnout now. Bring your heels together and toes apart. Squeeze it nice and tight. Belly is still lifted. We're going to lift. Bend the knees, flex the feet, almost like a little froggy back here. Reach out, point, and lower down. Again, lift. Bend and flex. Reach and point. Squeeze those inner thighs tight and lower down. This is 3. Lift. Bend the knees, flex the feet. Point the toes, straighten the legs. Lower down. 2 more. Lift. Bend. Straighten. Make sure your shoulders are down and relaxed. Lower. All the work from your belly. Lift. Bend and flex. Reach and point. Lower down. All right, we're going to do 5 more, and we're going to do it with our smooth motion. So, woo. Let's go again. Lift, bend, flex. Reach, point, and lower. This is 3. And reach it out and lower. 2 more. 4. And reach it out and lower. 1 more. 5. And reach it out and lower. Very nice. Let's shift back into child's pose and give ourselves a little break. I felt that in my bum a little bit, and my inner thighs, and a big stretch across the fronts of my thighs and my belly. I guess I felt that all over the place. Okay, we're going to flip over, lie on our back. Now, I'm going to have my arms out like this. You can put your hands down if you have a mat or you're on the floor. You can put them out. But I'm up on the Cadillac here, so I can't put them on anything. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to turn my palms up. You're going to lift and lower, and then you're going to let your knees drop over to one side and feel a nice stretch across the front of your thigh, and then come back center. And you lift the hips straight up, lower the hips straight down, and let the knees drop to one side. You can reach and get a nice stretch across the front of that thigh, and then come back down. Here we go. Lift and lower, reach and stretch, and return. And lift and lower, reach and stretch, and return. Again, lift and lower, reach and stretch, and return. Lift and lower, reach and stretch, and return. One more set. Lift and lower, reach and stretch, and return. Last time. Lift and lower, reach and stretch, and return and bring those arms in. Let's take a little break here. All right, let's do an exercise that will help us maintain control in our abdominals and learn how to move our legs freely at our hip joint. So I'm going to have you put your hands on your hip bones to make sure that they don't get doing any hula or Tahitian by chance. You're going to keep it nice and still here. And we're going to have our feet about hips distance apart. And you're going to turn your leg outside, but keep the hips from moving around or the pelvis from moving around. Then you're going to straighten that leg out long. You're going to turn the leg back to parallel and then draw it back up. We're going to inhale, open the knee just a little bit to where you can control your hips. Exhale, extend the leg. Turn it back to parallel, and then exhale, draw it back up. Let's go again. Two more. Open. Lengthen the leg out. Turn it back to parallel, and draw it back up. One more. Open. Lengthen the leg out. Turn it back to parallel and draw it back up. Okay, let's do the other leg now. You're going to open the knee, but double check these hips that they didn't get moving on you. And make sure this foot stays anchored. Sometime it'll start going off on you as well. Straighten that leg out. Go back to parallel and draw it back up in the middle. Open. Lengthen that leg out. Go into parallel and draw it back up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your foot on the ground. Open. Press down as you lengthen the leg out. Go to parallel and press down as you bring the leg up. Two more. Open. Reach it out. Double check that your abs are up and in. Back to parallel. And bring it back up. One more. Here we go. Open. And reach. And parallel. And that was so much fun. We're going to go back to the first leg and turn in. So turn the knee in. Reach it out long. Make sure it's still turned in and your abs are still lifted. Come back to parallel and draw it up. Turn the leg in. Reach it out long. Turn it back to parallel and bring it back up. And inhale and exhale and inhale and bring it up. Two more. Turn it in. Reach it long. Turn it to parallel. Bring it up one more time. Turn in. Reach it long. Turn to parallel and bring it up. Other leg. Turn in. Reach it long. Back to parallel and draw it up. Turn in. Reach it long. Back to parallel and draw it up. Again. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the abs lifted. Inhale. Keep your foot on the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And one more time. Turn it in. Reach it long. Turn it to parallel. And now we're going to do both legs. It will be fun. Turn the legs out. Reach the legs long. Now lift those abs so that low back doesn't start flying off the ground. Turn the legs to parallel. And here's the best part. Draw those legs up, but keep your belly button in. Turn out. Reach it long. Back to parallel. Draw it up. Again. Turn out. Reach it long. Back to parallel. Draw it up. One more. Inhale. Try keep your hips even. Exhale. Inhale. Reverse. Turn in. Reach it long. Turn out and draw it up. Turn in. reach it long, turn out, draw it back up, and in, and long, and out, and up. 2 more, in, and long, and out, and up. 1 more, in, and long, turn out, and bring it back up. And we've made it. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found this information interesting and enlightening and you would like some more, please go to the link or QR code on the screen and you can download my ultimate joint pain eliminator starter kit. You'll also be put on my email newsletter. Each week you'll get a workout, a recipe, one of my favorite products, as well as a quote. So if you want to become part of my ohana, go there and I will see you soon. Aloha.